Hello. Today we are here with Dillon, Mintleaf's resident filmmaker. Hi, Dillon.
Hey.
As you know, everybody that's working at Mintleaf on staff is a part of the children's education, and we do view ourselves all as co-learners, and that includes Dillon. So, Dillon, we're going to talk to you today a little bit about kind of before Mintleaf and during Mintleaf. So do you want to talk a little bit about what you remember about your own education?
As far as memories from preschool and stuff, I don't have a ton other than taking giant Lego blocks and closing somebody into a big tower or something like that, things like that. There's some good memories.
Yeah, that sounds like kind of imaginary and physical play, so that's really great. So then after that, you did public school for elementary, high school, college.
The normal track.
A, B, C, D.
Yep.
That kind of thing, graded education.
Oh yeah. And I would definitely say that seeing this, what I've seen for the past, how long have I been here? 2 months?
Yeah, about 2 months.
About 2 months. It's only been 2 months, but just in that time, I've seen how, if I were to have kids, this is where I'd want them.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah, and if I were to go back in time, this is where I would want to go. This route. Actually, I was going to ask you too, do they have alternative schools like this that go all the way up through the end of high school?
They do. So my own course in school, I went to a school that had preschool through second grade, and it was an alternative course. It wasn't called a Reggio school at that time. So in terms of Reggio, that's pretty much a word used for early childhood, 0 to 8 years old. But all of the philosophy and all of the educational theories can be applied anywhere up to adulthood.
I like to think of the typical education is more going down a thin alleyway versus how I feel when I'm here at this school, which is more guiding through an open field kind of thing.
Interesting.
Because they're there's this one way you have to do it, and you have to take this test to get this score, and you have to and then another thing as well, this goes on the side of just general interests of students. One of the things I noticed that you mentioned is trying to keep out some of the pop culture icon type of things,
right? Stuff
like that, not to diminish that if you love it and you're interested in it, but not to really blow it up and try and make that I don't know, any bigger than it needs to be.
Right. So a couple things you're talking about, the narrow path of kind of predetermined knowledge or tests that you have to pass to get through school. That's what we would call essentialist education. So there's kind of two schools of education. You have essentialist, which means there's this pool of knowledge that educators believe is essential for everybody to learn, and the teacher's job is to present that information to the students and to make sure that they learn it and that they're efficient in it. That's kind of the public school. Now, constructivist means that the children or the students can construct their own learning, that they know what they want to learn, that they can show the teacher what path they want to go, and the teacher helps the student find resources to follow their own path and interests.
And that fits in really well, actually. I've had my notebook sitting here. Fits in really well with something that I wrote down. Yeah, with the whole idea of the constructivist education is I wrote down specifically that when you have the freedom or you're encouraged to choose what you learn on your own, it helps to, I feel like it makes sense. It helps to develop a sense of self-confidence in your own choices, and also decision-making skills, thinking for yourself, creativity. That there wasn't a big sense of that instilled in me as a kid. I don't feel like that was really imparted in me as a kid. It was more this is what you have to do this. I do remember from being a kid that I was definitely kind of the goody two-shoes student. I was definitely that kid.
Kind of teacher pet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it finds you maybe more positive things in the moment because you get that positive reaction from a teacher and stuff. but you don't get, the things that other students get when they are making more of their own choices and just kind of thinking for themselves.
Right.
And I feel like I sort of lacked that,
Right. Maybe once you got done with school and you start working, you don't get the praise as much. You don't get the organized grade to let you know exactly what level your work is at. And you kind of have to sink or float.
Right.
Right. And so that's another part of in preschool, we don't really do grades anyways, but having like a pass-fail curriculum, where rather than being graded on a level of 5 points, you're just told this is acceptable, and then you discuss the merits of it or discuss like what you learned. So rather than being told good job, you're kind of given some feedback about what you created and what the teacher observes about that or something. So it's pretty new to you since you've started this job.
Yeah.
What made you take the job, or like what was your impression of the school before you took the job? Or
Well, funny enough, I had no idea really what I was getting into. I knew our boss, if you will, Aki, who was the CEO of Mintleaf, and he's just an awesome guy, as we both know.
Yeah.
I mean, he himself he's an incredibly impressive speaker in his second language, which is part of what
Absolutely.
we do here too. And anything that's created by him, I assumed was going to be a pretty good thing to be a part of. So that coupled with being able to come back to Japan itself to, also the job being videography, which I've been in for some time now. What's great about that, I think, is that it gave me a completely fresh perspective to come in on. I had no idea that I was gonna get interested in this new type of alternative education I'd never heard of, but now I see it every day and have to be part of the process. As you were saying, we're all part of the education and co-learning and everything in that space, and I think it's a really special thing to be a part of. I do think that having the freedom to do things like sensory play, like with things that are maybe messy, and then also having the freedom to do things and just have them redirected if maybe they're a little dangerous or something, would have been better for my kind of like child mind. Yeah,
and I think they're very related because I think they go back to the concept of not fighting the nature of children and of understanding their developmental needs. So the children are growing physically and they are very active and they need to be moving their bodies. They need to be throwing things, they need to be lifting things, and they need to be experiencing a variety of textures and through touch and that kind of thing. So rather than telling them what time of day it's appropriate to play a certain way, we kind of work with them and find ways to allow what they're showing us they need to be doing.
I think that if we treated human beings in general the way that our method treats people in our classrooms throughout their entire lives, I think it would be better. So that's really what I'm trying to say.
That's great to hear. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, and it's not just a form of education that we're imparting in kids and Mintleaf. It's more of a form of like kindness and humanity and being a good person, Like and thinking critically about the world around you.
If you go deep into the Reggio approach or the constructivist approach, you get to the desire to teach democratic principles.
Hey guys, my name is Dillon. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see the full exclusive versions of all of our videos, check the link in the description and sign up for full access to our Mintleaf Method. It's an amazing way to connect with our Mintleaf community and learn a lot about both teaching and parenting techniques as well. Hit the like and subscribe button for us if you would, it really helps us out. Can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Peace.